Welcome everyone. So, as you already know, today I am going to share my Birlasoft interview experience and as well as share the interview questions that I have encountered in the interview. So, before starting up the video, I would like to give a short introduction of ourselves. Like, we are a bunch of software engineers who are attending interviews with different MNCs and sharing our interview experiences and interview questions through the videos. You can visit our channel to find more such kind of videos, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I request you to please do subscribe so that you can catch up all the updates. And if you think this video is going to help you out, please do share this video. And if you want to participate or if you want to contribute to this channel, you can reach us out at the given mail id which is there in the description of this video. So what this video contains is this video contains the interview process that I have underwent at Birlasoft. So there were two face-to-face discussions and followed by one manager round and a HR round. So I would really like to thank the HR team of Birlasoft, the way they have scheduled it. That this was a scheduled interview at a weekday, but it went perfectly as they have planned because there was no long waits, to be honest, and I would thank them again. So firstly I would like to go from the backward. So before that I would like to share like what all technologies I have been asked the interviews in my two face-to-face discussions. So I was interviewed on Java, Spring Boot, Hibernate, Mabatis, and rules. So let me share the salary that was offered to me. So they have offered me 12 lakhs per annum. To be honest, I was really surprised to listen to that figure. I was expecting something around 10 lakhs, but to be honest, it was almost 100% hike on my current package, and was really surprised with that figure. So then I would like to share manager round interview questions what I have encountered in the manager round. So the first question was, how do you came to know about Birlasoft? So I have answered like few of my friends and colleagues already work here. So through them, I came to know about the company, like what are the benefits the company is providing and how the personal work life balance here at the company. So in that way, I have answered him. So why do you think Birlasoft is a company you want to work with? Was the second question. So to this again I have answered the similar answer that I have provided to my first question, as many of my friends work here and I know how the work culture is, and when I came to know about the technology stack that Birlasoft follows. So I am pretty much impressed with that, and so that's the reason I'm picking up Birlasoft. Next question, like what skills have you learned in your previous or current company? So I have given him a list of things, a list of technologies that I have learned in my current company or the last year. Why do you think you can contribute to my team? So I was already aware of the technological stack that his team was following on the project. So I said the same thing, like I don't need of any KT sessions on the technology. So this in this way I would it would be directly I can directly work on the project from the first day itself. What role did you have in the team and in what roles are you comfortable? So I was a Java developer in my current organization, and I am comfortable in any role as long as it is challenging for me. What has been your experience of interacting with client or customer? So we follow agile, and we have a ceremony called uh, scrum call, which we need to attend daily, and in that call our product owner, who is client for us, also joins. So the interaction is on the daily basis. This was the answer that I have given to him. So in the next section I'll be sharing all the Java interview questions that I have encountered, Spring interview questions, and what is it, rules, Hibernate interview questions. So the first question was, explain your project architecture. So I would always say So this is one of the deciding question. So if you're not explaining your project architecture properly, uh, there will be a huge negative impact that gets created on the interviewer. So be well prepared while explaining the project architecture. And when I was explaining him in the project architecture, there were many cross questions he was asking me, like how you are validating a user is authenticate, like how you are authenticating a user, how you are why you are using so and so technology while connecting to DB, while you are sending out a messages, like there is a message we send out through our application. So why are you using Apache Kafka in that? So these kind of questions were there. So please expect that type of questions as well while explaining the project architecture. So as our current my current application was on Java 1.8, so he asked me to explain the new features that are in Java 1.8. So I have also listed out here few features like what I have answered at that moment. So in Java 8 we have default and static methods in interfaces, functional interfaces and lambda expressions for each method in iterable interface, collection API improvements, and there are few others features as well, but at that moment I couldn't recollect all the features, so I have answered these things. What are solid principles? So if you are having an experience of more than 5.5 years, so this is one thing that everybody should be aware of, like what are solid principles. I have given a short answer here as well. If you are not aware of it, please go through the answer or prepare well for this question, the like what are solid principles. Then the next question was differences between comparator and comparable, and in which scenario I will use what. So this question I have encountered in many other interviews as well, so I was very well prepared for the answer and explained him in a detailed way. He was really impressed with that answer as well. So again, like he asked me to write a code to create a custom exception class. So I was given pen and paper and was asked to write the code. So I was prepared for this, and I have created a class. I have written a code to create a custom exception class, like extending a thread exception class and overriding the constructor. Then I was asked to find the longest palindrome in a string. So he has given me some input, and he asked me to find the longest palindrome in that input using the code in the best way. Explain the internal implementation of hashmap. So I have explained him in detail like how hashmap internally works. So I would request you, if you are not aware of this, like how hashing works and how the bucket is stored, please go through it. What all collections I have used, and he asked me to explain about the each collection class I have used and why in that scenario I have used a particular collection class. The next question, like why do we need serialization ID? So basically we need serialization ID when we are trying to deserialize an object. We need this. What version of Spring Boot are you using? So the version what I am using in my project I have given him. So he asked me to, can you tell me what extra feature comes with that version? So I was not aware of what was the extra feature that was coming up with that version. So I said I am not aware of that. So he said okay. What all annotations have you used in Spring Boot? So I have given him a list of uh, annotations that I have used, and he was asking me to explain each annotation in detail. So I have to explain him in detail like what annotation each annotation represents here. So next he asked me to explain what is Spring Boot application in detail. So Spring Boot annotation is used to mark a configuration class that declares one or more bean methods and also triggers auto configuration and component scanning. It is same as declaring a class with configuration, at enable auto configuration and @component scan. So basically mixture of three annotation is @Spring Boot application annotation. What is Swagger and what are its uses? So have you implemented Swagger in your application? These were the questions on Swagger. So we haven't implemented Swagger in our application, but definitely I know what is Swagger, and it is like a UI representation of your APIs. So I have said him the same, and I have also written like what all we need to configure to get a Swagger. How can we integrate a Swagger into our application? How did you handle exceptions in Spring Boot? So we can, there are annotations like at the exception and handler. So in that we need to specify what kind of exception you need to handle. So using that we can handle exceptions in Spring Boot. What are the advantages of Hibernate over JDBC? So below are the few things which I remembered at that moment and I have answered, like caching, lazy loading, relationship management, and provides code for mapping an object to the data. The developer is free from writing code to load store data into the database. So these were the few things that I have recollected at that moment and I have answered. So differences between get and load method in Hibernate. So the key difference between the get and load method is that load will throw an exception if an object with id passed to them is not found, but get will not throw the exception, and it will return null. So this is the key differences between them. So what are some strategies to solve the n+1 select problem in Hibernate was the next question. So I have answered him like what in the best possible way. What are the different types of cache or like caches available in Hibernate? So there are three kinds of caches that are available in Hibernate: first level, second level, and query cache. So the first level cache is maintained at session level and cannot be disabled, but the second level cache is required to be configured with external cache provided like EH-cache. What is the difference between first and second level cache in Hibernate? So it was a continuation of my previous question. So the first level cache is maintained at session level, while the second level cache is maintained at session factory level. And first level cache is a default one, but second level cache we need to configure it, like I've already said, using EH-cache. What is the difference between session and session factory in Hibernate? The main difference between session and session factory is that the session is a single threaded short-lived object, while session factory is immutable and shared by all sessions. It also lives until the Hibernate is running. Another difference between session and session factory is that session provides first level cache, while session factory provides the second level cache. If we need to configure it session factory level. When do you use merge and update in Hibernate? So this is one of the tricky Hibernate interview questions, I would say. You should use update if you are sure that Hibernate session does not contain an already persisted instance with the same ID, and use merge if you want to merge your modification at any time without considering the state of session. And then there were questions on MyBatis, and he asked me like how we are configuring MyBatis and how we are writing the queries in XML files. He even asked me to write one sample XML file in, and asked me to write a query in that sample file. And there were questions on rules as well, like he even asked me to write some sample rules like in the DRL file. So these were the questions. This was my technical questions that I have encountered in the interview with Birlasoft. I hope you people liked it, and please do share, subscribe to catch all the updates. And thank you for watching.